Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thanks for stopping by the vinyl collection. We're going to be going through our record collection on this show. If you're a new subscriber, thanks so much for joining us. If I'm hearing an echo in my ears now for some reason, it's very strange. Sorry, I will forge on ahead. If not, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Doesn't cost anything, helps the channel out tons. And if you've come to this channel expecting some, live bootleg music or something, please bear with us and give this a chance. We're just going to go through some music. Maybe our personalities will hold you to the channel. Who knows? Give us a try. So what this started with was a show where I was going through my record collection. I was going from Z all the way back down to A. And because it's been a while since I kind of sat on the floor and flipped through it all. And I was curious what was there, what was inside the stuff, look at the inner sleeves, look at the pull-out posters, all that. And we had some friends join us for certain shows, and that was fun. They're showing some really great stuff. We got some guys coming on this show. Our usual vinyl pundits will be here. And so last episode, I got down to the A's and finito of the alphabetized records. However, if you know me, you know that probably half my record collection is just willy-nilly laying around. So that's what we're up to next. Now, we have two major sections next. The one section is all of my favorite artists who were not in the alphabetized area because they were up in their own shelf, like Beatles and Zeppelin and Dylan and the band and all of their related artists. That's a whole nother shelf. We'll get to that, but I'm skipping ahead now and going to the recent delivery section, the new arrival section, as it were. So these are albums I picked up within the last year, and there's a bunch that are still sealed for some reason. Still sealed. You're going to get to see some unsealing action going on if you stick with the show. So stay tuned for that. It's new records, retail records. It's going to be some old stuff too, found at yard sales last year, but it's going to be a lot of really nice looking vinyl. So stay tuned for that. Hit the subscribe button. I'm going to let you know that this is a live chat as well. You can talk to us in the chat and we'll be more than happy to talk to you there. Or if you want to jump in the show, there is a link at the top of the chat. You just copy and paste that into your browser, and it's the StreamYard code, and you can jump right in the show and call in. We'll say hi to you, and then we'll kick you out. No big deal, no pressure. So right now, I do have one major vinyl pundit with us. Let me bring him on board. We couldn't do this show certainly without Kevin from Buried on Mars YouTube channel and Retro Fandango. Let's get him in here. There he is.
Hello.
He's in his evil lair.
Yes, the new location. I didn't know the camera was going to reveal so much, though. I thought it would be more like this, but you get to see everything there.
It's all dark.
Yeah, well, I'm a big time movie buff as well as an audio aficionado, and light pollution is not my favorite thing. So I put those up when I watch my movies, and I was watching a movie before this.
Oh, well, it looks like you just, your Darth Vader clamshell just opened up to reveal you in brilliant light.
Sure. That's what we want to go with. Sure. I'll go with that.
All right. So that's who we got today. We got Kevin.
Yeah.
He's our big vinyl pundit today. All of the pressure rests on his shoulders
there's got to be
expert.
There's got to be somebody else coming.
For expert advice, we look to Kevin. He's going to be our record expert today for this episode. Anything else you need to report? Anything new you want to talk about before we get going?
Well, I don't know if it's new, but I was hoping Matt Bandy would be here because I really need to apologize to both of you because I made a huge gaffe last week, and I know that we have been bombarded with angry emails and PMs on the Twitter and comments on the YouTube, and it's all my fault. I'm really sorry. But last week when I went through all the Van Halen albums, I completely gaffed on the 2012, I think, Return of Van Halen with David Lee Roth. I completely forgot about this album. And this is the special edition, if you will, with the DVD. You got the CD in there. You got the DVD. Look at that. So I really apologize to all the Van Halen fans who have angrily called up the show, but hopefully that has made up for it. And if you're wondering where I would place this on the list, it would be just one step ahead of Volume 3. So this is like the second worst thing that they ever output. There's 2 good songs on here. I like She's a Woman and what's that song? Blood and Fire. And the rest I really can't care for. But there you go.
But it's got a DVD. Yes.
It's got a DVD. And I found it at a thrift store in Newmarket for $1. I'm like, damn, it's even got the DVD. I got to pick that up. So, yep. But yeah, this was a weird album because they didn't have, I don't know, they got back together with David Lee Roth. They wanted to tour, but Eddie Van Halen is big on not touring unless he has new material. So they cranked this album up, but it's really their old stuff that didn't make it onto any of the early albums. They just went back and redid it. So you can actually hear old bootlegs of a lot of these songs, like studio outtakes and whatever, and how they did them back in the day. And then for whatever reason, they decided to re-record those and make an album out of those. So it's very uneven, and just David Lee Roth's kind of lost his vocal range, and it's not that great.
Yeah, it is heartbreaking when you hear your artists that lose that range, that can't go up there anymore.
Yeah. It's too bad.
It's just what happens.
How like some never seem to lose it. Like, and you wonder, like, they're in their 80s and they can still pull off like the notes, and then others just, I don't know if it's just from not taking care of their voice or what, but they lose it at some point,
Yeah. Well, like Art Garfunkel, he had to go through the surgery, the throat surgery. He suffered that vocal fry, and but he recovered from that. I don't know what he sounds like, presently. It's been a few years since I've seen anything from him. But Paul Simon's been pumping out stuff on his YouTube channel, and he sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And have you seen any of that stuff? He's been pretty busy.
Paul Simon? No.
Yeah, just him and his guitar, doing the hits, and that guy can play guitar. Holy mackerel.
No, the only one, and I think I pulled one of his records for later, but the only one I've been watching that's been doing like the at-home, jam sessions, and that is John Fogerty, who's been making videos on YouTube with his family, just doing old CCR songs, whatever, and he always starts it up with like a little tale on how the song started or something like that, what the song meant to him or that, and then he just bursts into it with his family, and it's really good. He's got talent.
I forget what song he did, but he shot it just as the sun was setting. Did you see that one? It was spectacular.
Yeah. Geez, yeah. I can't remember what song is what, because he's done a few of them. I remember another one he did with like he was in an old Volkswagen bus, like those old vans, hippie vans or whatever. Did one of those. Yeah.
Well, if we're gonna drop more internet stuff, I'll tell you another artist that, with her generosity of providing all this entertainment, is just breathtaking, is Norah Jones. I don't know if I've talked about it before, but she puts these mini concerts out. They're like half an hour long, once or even twice a week, just her in front of the keys, in front of a piano, or she'll play guitar. I think last week she was playing the piano and she was kicking a tambourine with her feet at the same time to add a little percussion. It's not on the Norah Jones YouTube channel. It's on another channel of hers that's called, I think it's called Norah Jones, or Norah Has a Dream or something like that. The Norah Jones channel is all like run by the record company. You can tell it's all promotion, right? But this channel is like her just on the side sharing these nuggets. And she's not just doing her stuff. She's doing all kinds of covers, Willie Nelson and, Bill Monroe stuff or whatever. It's just, I love her. I've always loved her. Always had a little thing for her. She does it for me.
Well, that's all right. What's wrong with that? That's
Nora Jones. Sure. She's probably my age, right? I think so.
I have no idea.
Followed her career closely.
I think maybe she's in her 50s, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Nora Jones is she's way too young for you, man. Way too young. Mm-hmm. Way too young for you.
Come on.
That's way too young.
How old is she?
That age spread is way too 41, man. That's like rocking the cradle.
Okay. And I'll give you one more because you got my juices going about internet music. Because we sit at work and we just watch YouTube all day and pick up bands.
I work.
Actually, Joe made me listen to these people. They popped up on my front page a few times, but I never clicked on them because they come across visually as very, well, it's all Branson. This is us in Branson, live Branson concert, Branson. You're like, oh boy, and they are very Christian, but man, do they have the talent. It's this family bluegrass group called the Petersons. Look them up. They're called the Petersons. There's 3 girls, and their mother plays stand-up bass, and their brother is a really great guitarist. And they have a neighbor who comes in and he plays the dobro, flat steel guitar, right? Resonator. And I can't really tell you who is better at it than him. He blows your mind away. He's so good at that flat steel guitar. It's amazing. That one girl plays the fiddle, the other does the mandolin, the banjo, and they use this mic that must cost $1 billion because it sounds so good no matter where they are. It's like those old stand-up mics that is suspended in the middle by a bracket. Mm-hmm. And the dobro guy has his own mic, and maybe the mandolin player will have her own mic, but most of it comes from that one mic, bluegrass style. So they all got to take turns huddling around that mic. Mm-hmm. And man, it is really good, amazing stuff. Some of it is gospel, but their bluegrass stuff is fantastic. And the girls are super good, easy to look at too. Doesn't help. Very charming. I mean, they're charming.
Turning into a very creepy episode.
The Petersons.
They sound like that family that everyone hated on A Mighty Wind. The group that everyone thought was too popcorn and bubblegum.
Yeah, but that's what I thought too when I first saw their thumbnails, right? That it would be popcorn and bubblegum, but they got it. Whatever it is, they have it. They got the feel for the bluegrass. It's good. The Petersons, check that out. So I'm going to start with, I know you guys will be excited for this. I've talked about this over and over again, how you guys should be protecting your records with some inner sleeves. Make sure they have inner sleeves. Yes. So you can actually go and buy inner sleeves, which I have done to make sure all my records have inner sleeves.
Good. That's a quality one.
Archival.
Okay.
I think they came from Australia or something because it was a good 2 months getting there and it finally came. Yeah. So there's that. And I will also start with something vinyl adjacent, right? We always start with something not necessarily a record. And I bet you Kevin knows what this is, but all of us have, with the record players, we have amps, right? To play the record player in. And for my records and music, I've always tried to collect vintage amps, 80s style audio equipment made in Japan, silver face stuff. And whenever you pick up something like that, they always have scratchy pots, right? You try to crank the volume and the speakers blow up and kids run screaming from the living room. And that's been going on for a long time with one of my amps. So I finally broke down and bought some Deoxit 5. You know about that stuff, Kevin?
I just use either WD-40 or just the air, like just use canned air to blow the dust off the pots, and that usually works.
This is the real stuff. This is like magic stuff. This will transform them into brand new pots.
Okay.
And yeah, comes highly, highly recommend. If you look up any videos on audio repair or anything like that, everyone has this in their toolkit, and it actually transforms the corrosion back into usable contacts. Deoxit D5. It's not cheap though. So there you go. There's your tip.
Okay.
Got record sleeves and we got Deoxit.
Great. Now you got to just listen to those records.
That's right. This is for the amp up in my living room, which has had its record player removed. I do want to get the record player back into that setup. I just have to figure out how to fit it in with all the game consoles. So it's in my mind. I'm starting to think about it. But that's my start. I'm curious to know where Kevin's going to go since it's theme time with Kevin on these weekly episodes. What's your theme this week?
Well, I'm really... I don't really have too much of a theme. I got a little bit of one, but not extremely one. Because I was going through my collection. I'm like, I don't know what else to show. Like, honestly, I don't know what else to show.
Show it all.
Well, yeah, I suppose. A lot of it is, I don't know, just like 80, like a majority of it is Sarah stuff. Because Sarah can pick up, you know, like one record cost me $20 because people want them. Where $20 would get Sarah 20 records because it's all 80s stuff that it's just lying around, but she picks it up. So that's the majority of our collection. But I did pick a few choice live albums to show. Now, first one is a CD, so just bear with me for a second. But because it is a collector's CD, this one, if you can find it, if you're lucky enough to find it, I think you can fetch yourself around $50 for this thing. And this is the Aussie Live and Loud CD that only got like really one print. And it's got like this, like it feels like a speaker, like a metal speaker grill on there. And it's a little bit flimsy, and I think that's part of the reason why it's sought after, because this part is really heavy, and then it's stuck to like this really, cardboard.
Yeah.
So it's easy for this part to come undone, and I have seen it in used stores before where this part is just kind of wrecked and off there. But if you can find one in a good condition with the gold Aussie on there, you can get yourself $50 for that.
It's so daunting, the CD piles at thrift stores. There's so many of them there.
Yeah. And when this thing was reissued, it wasn't reissued like this. It was reissued in a different packaging. So that's why it's like that. But you can find some good stuff in the CDs. And we'll just stick with the Aussie live. This is Black Sabbath Past Lives. This came out 2004. I think, and then it got a reissue on vinyl. This is the 2LP 180 gram version. I picked this up for like $25 on sale, and it's a really nice collection there. You got the buddies there, and lots of reading.
Very glossy.
Yeah. And so this came out, this was originally called Live at Last, and it came out in 1980, and I always thought it was a Dio album. So here's the original sleeves in there. And of course you got to take them out of there and put them in, just some generic sleeves. So I always thought it was a Dio album, but no, it's with Ozzy, and it was recorded in the early 70s. It's really nice vinyl. It's black. Got some girth to it. So yeah, it was a bit of a bootleg album. Like it came out like some record label got their hands on it and was able to do an official printing of it, but it was never officially endorsed by the band. So then after some negotiations and that in the early 2000s, pretty much because everybody probably needed some money, they found a way to get that officially pressed, and it was called Past Lives. There's the inside.
Hmm.
And that's just record number 2.
Well, I don't think I can afford to get separate sleeves for records that already include sleeves. Holy moly.
See, what you want to do as a collector is you want to preserve this, right? So putting the records in there, over time, it's going to wear them out. So
no.
Yeah. So what a real collector does is he preserves those, or she. And the next live album I want to show is Iron Maiden, Rock in Rio. This came on sale on Amazon sometime last summer for $20. I couldn't believe it. This was a live concert that they did in the mid 2000s, and I couldn't believe it because it is a double, live album. It's really nice.
Whoa, cool artwork.
Iron Maiden is always, and then you got your words in there, which is weird, really weird to have lyrics for a live album, but yeah, Iron Maiden always does a good job with the artwork. Yeah, this is heavy vinyl as well, 180 grams. Again, it was a really nice set. There's that label.
That was a DVD too, right?
Yep. Yeah. Came out with both. Then the second one's pretty much just the same thing. And that's pretty much it for round 1.
Very neat. Very neat. I hope you guys tuned into my unboxing video earlier this week. You would have saw a special edition opening this album. Traveling Through. This is the last year's bootleg series album from the Bob Dylan camp, covering the years 67 to 69. So this is that fabled session he did with Johnny Cash is included in here. That was never officially released. It was all the bootleggers had it, of course, but it took until last year to get an official release out of that. So you got the outtakes from Nashville Skyline and John Wesley Harding and the Johnny Cash sessions. And another bonus is live from the Johnny Cash show. And there's also some tracks with Earl Scruggs on here. So it's a really awesome package. Oh, it's super thick. I just barely could pull the plastic over top of it. Check out that unboxing. That's on this channel. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, was Bob acoustic for that, or was he plugged in?
I think him and Johnny were both acoustic. And what makes it so charming is that, like, there's a couple tracks where they're just making shit up on the go. Like, they're just jamming. They're just making up lyrics, trying to best each other with who can come up with the funniest lyric kind of thing. And then you can even hear June come in, June Carter Cash, and go, we didn't hear Bob give his harmony for that song. Can he do that again? And then they redo a song. It's good. It's a great package. Some are saying it's the last of the bootleg series. I hope not, but it came down in price on Amazon, got down to $50 for a triple album. So I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
It bugs me, he's with Columbia, which is Sony, and these multi-disc albums from Sony are usually very expensive. The one before this, called The Cutting Edge, which covers all of the Highway 61 sessions, I don't have because it's well over $100. It's so expensive. And I was in the record store today, and he was putting out some new stock, and they finally compiled all of the Johnny Cash, Rick Rubin albums into one giant vinyl box.
Oh, nice.
So I had to look at it. He hadn't even priced it yet. It was 6 records in there in a nice, big, beautiful box, with that Johnny Cash in silhouette that we're used to seeing. And what do you think that's worth?
6?
Yep.
I'm going to say somewhere between, I'm going to give myself lots of leeway and say somewhere between $150 and $200.
Yeah, you're right in there. He's going to charge, the record store is going to charge, I think he said $159, and he told me the Amazon price is like $170. So, woo.
Yeah.
Expensive.
Yeah, those sets are really pricey. So that's why when Boxing Day comes around, keep an eye out for those, because they'll have some that are just lying around and they're like, we got to get rid of this. You might be able to pick one up for $50 or $60.
So why was I at the record store? You might ask.
Why were you at the record store, Bill?
Let me switch to the backup cam here. And then put Kevin in the little screen. There he goes. Okay.
Well,
there we go.
I got to stay up here. I got stuff to put away here, so you just keep talking.
No, I like watching you. I was in there last week and asked him if he had this album, and he said, no, sold out, but come back next week and maybe I'll have some more in. So this week I called him, and he had one in, and he managed to set aside for me. So this is the unreleased Neil Young album from the 70s. Has finally been released. And I don't know what the dealio is with this, because this is a record store exclusive vinyl edition, a record store day. And it's got the record store day seal on it here.
Well, record store day got screwed, right, this year? So I think they've been just releasing stuff.
Well, we're getting 3 record store days this year.
Yeah.
So was this supposed to be in the original record store day?
I think so.
I don't know. So here it is. It is sealed, and we can crack it open if you want.
Yeah.
Got to maintain this cellophane though. Got my trusty knife here. Oh boy. There it is. Breaks my heart. Breaking my heart.
Well, open it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're just not going to play it?
It looks so nice. This is a record store exclusive vinyl edition. It includes album cover print, apparently. So let's see what's in here. Okay.
An album cover print.
There you go. I thought it would be multi-folded, but that's it. It's the size of the LP. Still nice. It's in good shape.
Yeah.
Nice addition. They didn't have to do that, I guess. Oh, what was the price on this? The price was, he quoted me last week as selling them for $24.99, but this week they were $29.99. But that's still cheaper than the $39.99 of Amazon. There's the sleeve. Let's see what's in here. There it is, on reprise. It's like his old style label, which is neat. Yeah, there you go. Brand new record there for you.
You know that there's 3 albums that he had unreleased back in the day that he's coming out with. So I believe that's the second of 3.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. It's just a little trip in that Neil Young archives, and there's a lot of stuff going on in there.
Well, and that album, the last one he did was Hitchhiker, which I picked up, and I'm listening to it, and it's better than most people's albums. And this is one that he was just like, I don't know about putting that one out. I think I'm just gonna I'm gonna keep that one in the vault for some reason. And not a lot of those songs, but a lot of the songs on there that people know on those albums ended up on that double greatest hits / rarities album that he came out with in the 70s. So like for instance, I think on that album Love is a Rose is a song, which is a song that a lot of people might know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But because it ended up on that double rarity / greatest hits album.
And also, while I was at the record store, this was last week, but it's still new to me. They had a bunch of blues and jazz records there. And I mean, I don't know if you can make up the price. $10.
Good price.
Jazz at the Plaza, the Miles Davis Sextet. Of course, you got Coltrane in there as well. And this is some live show at the Plaza. I mean, it was $10. So,
and I know where you got that because I have a record here from that same store.
Well, it's our only independent record store in town. So, yeah, this sucker's sealed. Should we see what's in here?
Sure.
I like these sleeves that have like the cut corners here, like that. 2 tracks on that side, 3 tracks on the other side. Super heavy. Yeah, that will be interesting. I'm really curious what the sound quality is going to be like. That's a nice sleeve. Got the plastic inside and the paper on the outside. That's the kind of sleeve I like.
That's what.
So $10, and there was a bunch of them. Bunch of jazz stuff for $10. The blues stuff was all $19.99. There was a couple of those I was really tempted by, but that adds up pretty quick. Should I do one more?
Sure.
I wanted to wait. I wanted Big Bandy to come on when I showed this because I don't know if he's aware of this band, although you've talked about them quite a bit.
Sheepdogs. Very nice.
Yeah, this Canadian band. This I picked up at the Beat Goes On in Kitchener Waterloo. My buddy Derek took me to a bunch of stores and found that there. And this was a Record Store Day album like the year before. And yet they still had inventory. That's how awesome the record stores are in Waterloo area. I don't know if there isn't a lot of buyers there or something, but every record store I went in still had Record Store Day inventory, even though it had been long past. So that was kind of exciting because in my town, you don't get this. This is not here. It's just like, this will be gone. There's none of this stuff. So I was kind of happy to finally get my first Sheepdogs record. Sheepdogs, they made a big splash a few years ago. Didn't they get on the cover of Rolling Stone? Everyone made a big fuss about it. And then
there was a contest for a new band to get on the cover of Rolling Stone, and they won that contest.
Right. And then they kind of quieted off. You didn't hear too much about them until Kevin started going on about them again.
Yes. Well, they put out an amazing album last year or the year before. It was just brilliant. It's called Colors. You should check it out.
But look at this. Record Store Day album. It's already not bad price, $32.99. And then it was 25% off. Like I was in my glory at this store. Do you have this one, Kevin? Record store version?
I don't know. I'd have to look.
Take a look at this. So this is a double album. I guess just great value.
I think it only came out Record Store Day. See, there was before they had a real record deal. That was their second album. So that was the Record Store Day thing. Was that album was finally getting
right.
released.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, I definitely have those. No, I see that.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
That is a thing. Clear vinyl is, God damn it, that's awesome. Wow. I love that. And it sounds pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
What's this one? Oh, remember, they're both clear. Look at that. Oh, man. Just want to make love on top of that thing.
I don't think we should do episodes with just you and I in them. It's getting a little too intimate for me.
I love it. So yeah, I had no idea there was clear vinyl in here when I bought this. I just thought it was a double album. So when I pulled those out, man, it was a fun surprise, to say the least.
I almost grabbed all my Sheepdog albums too, so it's a good thing I didn't.
Well, that's it for me. I could just get one. So, but I'm glad I got it.
You go to the show, I'll have them there for you.
Yeah, I could see doing that.
That's where I got all my Sloan and all my Sheepdog albums. Just get them there at the show, reasonably priced, $20. There's no tax on it or anything, just straight $20. Here's an album.
Yeah, sounds good to me. So are all the rest of their, this record store day, as you said, was their chance to get everything out on vinyl. So is all of their albums specialty wax?
No, it was just those
colored
it was just those first two albums, like they didn't have a record deal or anything like that for their first two albums that would have vinyl pressings. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like their third album came out on vinyl, like when it came out, and fourth and fifth, and then that record store day was like, hey, the first two albums are finally coming out on vinyl. They're going to be record store day.
Oh, that was just two albums they had to catch up on.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So continue, Kevo.
All right.
What do you got?
Well, the stuff's a little thin here, but we'll go through. I just grabbed this album because I wasn't sure if you had this, Bill. Do you got the Tenacious D's? You got the D on vinyl?
I do not have their first album on vinyl, and it kills me that I don't. I love that album.
It's the greatest and best debut album in the world.
It might very well be.
This was yet another Amazon sale, and I haven't even opened it yet.
See all the albums being opened in this stream. It's incredible.
This is the one I haven't opened. So in the spirit of opening albums, would you like me to open this right now?
Oh, goddamn right.
Okay, let me get my knife. Cover for me while I go get my knife.
Cover for you.
Yeah.
Well, I can say hello to Eric Mighty Q Dog, who's just popped in. Hey, Eric, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support. Big Bandy will be along shortly, and anyone else is welcome to join as the show goes along. As you know, the link is right there above your comment in the top of the chat. Anyone can come on in and say hello. That's the fun part of this show. It's wild. It's a wild vinyl show.
All right, here we go.
I was just saying hi to Eric.
Hello, Eric. Yeah, come on, Eric. Tell us who your favorite band is.
Yeah, you don't need to have a record. Just talk.
Talk about some music. Talk about the music you and Melissa like to listen to together.
In that dorm room back in the day?
Yeah. Had to let the PC cool down after some monster sessions with Doom. While that was happening, you put on some cool tunes.
That's right. Man, I know that record front ways to back ways. I sing every song of it. I can't help it. If I'm in the car and that comes on, I'm singing.
Remember the preservation copy we had the last song was cut off on it or something?
Yes. Yeah. I think that's the one I still listen to.
So you don't know the album front to back. You got to keep that. I had to take the cellophane on because this is a gatefold.
Is it?
It is.
Is this is like a re-release or?
I think so.
Okay.
Well, I don't think it originally came out on vinyl, right? All right. So you got the boys having some fun.
Oh wait, I'm asleep at the wheel here. I love it.
There.
I've never seen that photo before.
Well, you got to get this.
God damn, I want that album.
And let's see. We got the proper sleeves in there. The nasty looking Jack Black. What the songs are. Let's see what the vinyl is. Oh, it's just black. Sorry.
Wow, that's still pretty awesome.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to put that. So it's a double. It's a double.
It's a double. Yeah. Wow. I want that.
It was a lot. It was a big album, right? Like long. They filled up that CD. And you got Kyle on the other one. There you go. It would be cool if Kyle's was a different color. Yeah, Jack Black and I don't know, something white.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always loved that cover too. And then the back is the same as the CD.
Yeah. Again, that's another of these bands that I discovered and asked you to record for me that night on Conan, and legendary performance on Conan.
Not even close. Not even close. Because I know exactly where I was and what I was doing when I discovered Jack Black. You know exactly what was happening. And I became a huge Jack Black fan. I had to get more Jack Black in me. I was watching a movie called High Fidelity in my home with my wife.
Right. I think you borrowed it off me.
And I'm watching this movie, and this guy is just crazy in this movie. He's acting all stupid and everything in this record store, and he's showing his plumber's crack as he's bending over to find the Bob Dylan record to give to a customer, all this crazy stuff. And he's building up this entire movie, throughout this entire movie, that he's got a show, he's got a band, and he wants his friends to come and see him. And when he shows up on stage, you're like, there's no way that this guy's going to sound any good. This guy's going to sound terrible. He's going to sound awful. And when he started singing, it was like, oh, that was the gag. He could really sing. It was amazing. And I thought, man, this was a terrific movie. I absolutely love this movie. So right away, I went next door to tell Bill about this movie. And Bill said, John Cusack.
Okay.
I don't want to see that. I didn't want to. John, he's in those 80s movies. I don't want to. Turned his nose right up. And I'm like, how do I tell this guy to watch this movie and without ruining the Jack Black thing? But no, he just was not having any of it. Not having any of it.
Well, quite a tale you weave, sir. Quite a tale.
Exactly what happened. I don't have to weave a tale. And the truth is so much more funny.
Well, let me open this discussion up to another of our family here who's ready to join us now. None other than Big Bandy. I'm sure he doesn't believe what you're saying. Oh,
he's too busy. Now we know why he was late.
Good workout. He was doing that just with his fingers, not even using the knob things.
No, he doesn't need it. Just got a finger right in there. That was amazing. Hey, fellas. You climbed all the way here?
All the way here. That's why I'm late. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's understandable.
Whew.
God damn it. Those finger muscles you must have.
Well, it's part of my job.
That's true.
Yeah. It's professional.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the ladies love Bandy.
Yeah.
Well, at least one of them does, so that's all that counts.
You won't believe the show you've missed so far, Matt Bandy.
Really?
You've missed 3 records being opened for the first time.
Wow. From you, Bill?
2 from me, 1 from Kevin.
Oh, interesting.
This has
Nice.
been the retail show.
Nice. What have I missed?
Kevin just did the Tenacious D.
Oh,
I
which
did-
record?
The good one. The good one. They're all good.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that one's great.
I got the new Neil Young
Okay.
and a Miles Davis live album.
Oh, interesting. Live from where?
Jazz at the Plaza.
Nice.
Consists of recordings taped at a party thrown by Columbia to celebrate the healthy state of their jazz division. Not meant to be a recording session. So
Interesting. Have you had a chance to listen to it yet?
no, it was cracked live on air.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Like that's why this is the #1 trending vinyl show on the internet. You see exciting stuff like that.
Name a better show.
Come on. Where else? You got me and Big Bandy. You got Kevin in his lair. It's like,
Oh, I was getting. I just noticed that. Nice.
Yes, I'm in the basement now.
Looks nice and cool down there.
It is cool. I was wearing a sweater earlier, and I had to close the vent to the air conditioner.
well,
Nice.
why aren't you using your fan to circulate throughout the house?
Because it had the air conditioner on.
Yes, while the compressor's off, you use the fan to continue to circulate that cool air, bring it up to the top.
It's all good. It's fine. It's
Put
a
your
super,
thermostat on circulate.
I don't think I have that setting. Don't have it. It's a super computer furnace, and when you buy a furnace now, and you got to get a computer with it. They put a computer in it with the circuit boards and that. You can't just get on off fan. That's what I liked back in the day. I lost the host. He's just what? His headphones died. Headphone switching. Oh. Are you back, Bill?
Hey,
Hey, what's
Yeah,
going on? What was happening there?
I don't want to hear about his furnace.
Oh, I'm done. No, I had finished what I was saying.
No, my headphones died, so we're good. We're good now.
Okay.
So, Matt Bandy, do you want to dazzle us with something special?
Sure. Yeah. I thought I'd do a theme this week or today,
Ooh.
where I used to be more of a I collect variants of records, like multiple pressings of a record, just different colored vinyl of a record. That was really big in the hardcore punk rock community, especially like in the early 2000s. Just tons of different variants, and I kind of got caught up on it a little bit. But I've since traded off all my duplicates except for a few records to where I've kept multiple copies of a single record. But most of them had to do with they're special for some reason. Whether one of them has one of my best friend's bands, and I kind of collect all of his, or have all of his band's records, and so a lot of them had to have a special meaning. So I'm going to show you my duplicates today. Records that
And
I have multiple.
You're going to
copies
raffle
of.
them off at the end of the show?
Yeah, no, probably not. But hey, if you get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the hour, I will.
Whoa, there it is.
There you go.
It's
How about
thrown
that?
out there, folks.
Eric, get all your accounts together.
What we need? Like 600?
Hey, this week was another good week. We're only 20 away from 500. So we just need 520 today.
Oh, wow.
Eric's at some big computer farm. I'm sure he can hook that up. Daisy chain some stuff together.
Nice. Make it happen.
All right. Okay, I'm putting it out there.
Okay, so the name of the band is Internal Affairs. They were a Los Angeles hardcore band from the early 2000s up until like maybe into the before the teens. I think that is when they stopped being a band. But this is, it's a single-sided LP. This is on yellow vinyl. I don't know if you can see on the back, but there is an etching of, it's basically an etching of the front cover here of the record. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, if that's showing up on the record here.
Kind of did.
Yeah, if I kind of twist it or turn it like that, it's more so like it's almost looks like it's hand etched into the record. Like you would kind of see what it looks on the matrix of records sometimes, how you see
Right.
that's what it looks like on there. So I'm not sure how that was done, but yeah, this is one of my best friends. He originally played bass in this band, and then went on to play guitar in this band as well. So I saw this band many times live. I've probably seen this band more than any band that I've ever seen in my life. And that's my buddy right there. Yeah, this was their first full-length LP, put out by Malfunction Records, who are no longer a record label. And this is, I believe, yeah, this is on green vinyl. So same record, except this is on see-through green.
Nice.
And you can see the etching on that as well, kind of. So this side, is blank. It's just a single-sided LP.
How many songs are on there? They're all on the one side. It looks like there's about 20 songs.
There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 songs on one side.
Goodness.
So they if I could describe their music, it would be short, fast, and loud. And yeah. And so the final version of this record is this guy here. So this has a different cover sleeve, and this was a record release variant of the record. So this record was only available at their record release show. So they played a show the day that this record came out. And again, same record. There's no liner notes. A lot of times record release records are kind of and there's no label on it either. They printed, I think there's only maybe 100 of this record printed.
Wow.
And so a lot of times it's like these will be available before an actual physical release is available through the label or the band or different distros. So that's why it's usually kind of bare bones. And this one, you can maybe, I don't know if you can see the etching. This has the etching too. You can, but yeah, this is not doing it justice, but yep. So I have 3 copies of that one record.
Well, yeah, but you're holding on to like a super, super rare piece of vinyl there.
I think the rarest I have is I have a 7-inch by a band called Not Sorry, and I have a record that's out of 40. There was only 40 of that record press. That's the most limited record that I own.
Yeah, 40.
So yeah, internal
Fun
affairs.
stuff. Fun stuff. Well, you weren't here. You missed. I finally showed a record with a cool inside, with a cool piece of vinyl. Maybe I'll do it quick. I did want to talk to you if you knew about the Sheepdogs.
Just from, I've heard Kevin talk about them. I've heard you guys mention them. I know they're a Canadian rock and roll band, right?
Yeah, this was leftover from a record store day at a record store, and it was on sale, and I couldn't help but pick it up. And I was pleasantly surprised by when I opened up the vinyl.
Oh, is that like a
Look at
smoke?
that.
Yeah, that's pretty. I like that.
Clear. Kevin said he wanted to make love on top of it, so he really liked it.
Nice.
It was actually creepy while you were not here, Matt Bandy. That was intimate for me. I had to grab my knife, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
The-
Yeah, man. I don't know what he's talking about.
No means no, Bill.
All right. Are you done for now, Matt Bandy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Let me switch over here to the overhead. Make you guys small. And the next, so Matt, you weren't around when I set this up. I am through the alphabetized stuff in my collection. We're now into, I have two major sections left. One section is stuff that's my favorite artists, that I've set aside. And then the other section is new arrivals from the past year. So that's what we're skipping to now, is the new arrivals section. That's why there's so much being opened today on this episode.
You've had those records for over a year and haven't opened them?
Maybe some. I'm saying some. Maybe. Busy lifestyle over here, dude.
Okay,
Busy.
I'm not going to judge.
Busy lifestyle.
Tickled my throat.
As I was pulling these out for today's episode, I'm like, man, I do look like a poser through this. So I'm shocked that some of these that aren't opened that I just had to have. So here's one. Frank Zappa, Mothers of Invention, absolutely free. There's a little sticker on it. This is the 50th anniversary 180 gram double LP edition. All analog mastering from the original 1967 tape with a laser etched bonus disc, which you guys will see on this very episode, because this is still sealed. Sealed.
Nice.
Was that Rhino Records they put out those reissues?
There's the back. Well, it came from Zappa Records, Universal Enterprises. The mother Zappa, she doesn't let things go too far out of the family, so I don't think she would give this up to a major label. There's the back. Says here. I don't know can you guys ever see this when I put it up, or is it all washed out?
I can see it fine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because when I check the playback of this, like the next week, it seems like it never shows up. But so here it says, you must buy this album now. Top 40 radio will never, ever play it. So. All right, guys. There's no preserving the cellophane, by the way, because I guess it's a gatefold.
It's okay. You don't need that.
Here we go. Doing it again. Well, Kevin says we should keep that sticker, so that's probably a great idea.
Why do I keep all those?
I agree with you on that. Although I haven't done that in the past, I do think it's a good idea.
So just give some pressing information on it?
Well,
you got to keep it. It's part of the thing that came out. So this came with the Tenacious D one, so you got to keep that.
And this opens this way. There's the mother's clean American version.
What was dirty about the other cover?
Beats me. That's all I remember.
Maybe it's the album, the album itself. Was it censored? The music?
I don't know. Send money as much as you can get. $1 minimum. Even the little sneaky ones merely send money as much as you can. How you get it, we could care less. Make sure it's at least $1 for your own very libretto. So lots tongue-in-cheek going on here. Let's take a look inside disc 1. Oh, stuck in there. Neat label.
Did you get your sleeves in the mail yet?
Well, you should have been here for the start of the episode. You would have seen, indeed I did.
Nice. Good.
This is a great sleeve, though. No need to replace that sleeve. That one's really good. And the next one, oh, there's other stuff in here. A little booklet in here. I just got to make sure there's no codes. Doesn't appear to be any codes. That's a nice, this is the lyrics in here.
That's cool.
Yeah, this is nice. It has a nice foreword written by Frank. It's probably pretty funny.
What year did that record come out?
67?
7, okay.
There you go.
I'm not too familiar with that record. I don't. What's the track list on that?
Son of Susie Cream Cheese, Uncle Bernie's Farm. This is like an album I would have borrowed off a buddy. I never owned it personally myself. The Duke of Prunes. Oh, Plastic People, of course.
Okay, that song I know.
Yeah. Well, this would have come after Freak Out, right? And Susie Cream Cheese was on Freak Out. And so this has Son of Susie Cream Cheese. Although I could be talking out of my ass. I'm not sure. I don't have the memory for this kind of stuff. Let's check out that second disc. That is weird that there is no download code in this. I thought that's what happened nowadays.
I kind of got away from that. It was big to get to part of the reason to entice you to buy the vinyl, and it's like, we don't really have to do that.
That's cool.
Buy the vinyl anyways.
You see Frank in there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's showing up good.
Yeah, that's neat.
Speaking of download codes, that's one thing I do like about ordering directly from the artist off of Bandcamp. Whenever you purchase the order, you immediately get access to it digitally if you order a physical format of it. And a lot of times it'll come with a download code too in the record as well.
Well, why the heck wouldn't this have a download code? You already spent a good amount of money on this investment. It costs them nothing to send along a download code. So,
well, they make money now if you stream them on YouTube or Spotify or something like that.
Oh, I guess so.
Yeah, so that probably maybe that's their deal that they have with Spotify or something too. Right?
You know what Spotify pays the artist? Is it
hardly anything according to, I think, was it Lionel Richie who was trying to get a bunch of people together?
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah. According to the artists that live in their giant mansions, they say they don't get paid at all for it. I'm going to keep going since the overhead's on, if you guys don't mind.
Nope.
This I picked up at Sunrise Records. They had like a bin of just weirdo stuff in there where I think everything in the bin was like $2 or something like this. And this was just for $2. I couldn't help but get it. The regular price is $16 on there. And look how thick that thing is.
That's what she said.
And being this thick, it's also nice. It comes with a poly that actually fits it. Old school poly on there. So let's take a look at what's in this Ben-Hur album thing. It's got some wear to it. That's okay. So there explains what's on here. Music from Ben-Hur. Hope you guys have seen that movie.
Mm-hmm.
The Charlton Heston version.
The score in its entirety.
I would say there's one side two. There's a lot of stuff in here. We got to get through it. Yeah, I had this movie on VHS for the longest time, and it was the worst audio on that VHS I've ever experienced, where all the dialogue was like mur, 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 and the score was super loud, and it was Chuck Heston, so it was always like mur, 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 mur. You're like, what is going? I can't hear a thing. Anyways, that's my memories of my first Ben-Hur. So we got the record here. The record looks like no one's touched it. Yeah, it's okay. And then look at that. You got like a book in here. A full-on book. So this is probably why I picked this up, because I mean, can't go wrong for a couple bucks. You're getting all this. Pull out story. Got all the characters there. And some color stills.
You think back in the day too, this would be the only way you could get something from the movie. You couldn't go buy the movie.
Yeah. You truly are the King of Kings. Naval battle scene. Love that.
That was incredible.
Of course, the chariot race is what an unbelievable set piece that is. People died making that.
Yeah.
Same with the silent version. People died during the silent version. Okay. So if you get hired to work on a Ben-Hur movie, say you don't want to work on the chariot race scene. Yeah, lots of info in there.
They did remake it a few years ago, didn't they?
They did.
Did you see it?
Yeah. It's an abomination. Look at this. Was it what?
PG?
PG. Yeah, probably.
Computer generated effect.
Oh yeah, it was wholly terrible in every way possible. Why would you remake this? Like, makes no sense.
That's a cool shot.
Yeah, imagine having to get that shot. Old school.
Big cameras.
Yeah, it's crazy. So that's pretty good buy for a couple bucks. I'll keep that. There's the Ben-Hur soundtrack and book. Bring the boys back here. I think it's Kevin's turn finally.
Okay, well, I think this will be my last round because that's all I got.
What?
Well, you normally, like, I think I went an extra round, and I normally do because Bandy wasn't here to start.
Oh, sorry.
I prepared for 3 rounds, and this is my 3rd round. So, I don't think I talked about this album on this show. This came out last year or the year before. Can't remember. But it's basically I know the joke is that they just keep putting out the same Jimi Hendrix songs over and over again. But, a lot of the stuff that has been reissued has not been the best quality. And really, a few years ago, a decade and a half ago, I guess, the family sort of took over the catalog and nailed down a lot of the bootlegs and that were out there of a lot of the songs. Like I think was it MCA? I think that owned him before, and they put out a lot of garbage. So when the family took over, they got Eddie Kramer, who was Jimmy's sound engineer from back in the day, and they got him to remix a lot of the rarities in that. So there's a couple of albums out before this one. This was the last one. It's called Both Sides of the Sky, and this is a really cool album. It's a double, and on here, there's a lot of stuff that Bill would like on here. It's a mishmash of stuff from his career. They put in these high quality sleeves.
Was there any unreleased tracks on that?
Well, see, now everything has been sort of released at some point, but not these versions. If that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
Like not these the way they've been mixed.
What was the Fountains of Neptune? Was that?
That was one of them. Yeah.
Okay. Was there an unreleased track on that?
Man,
I think I remember because I think I remember that was the selling point for that. It was like there was an unreleased Hendrix track, and it was, from what I remember, it sounded, it was good.
I don't know. I don't know. To be honest,
that came out before the Fountains of Neptune came out before this record, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd have to go look through like when it comes to the names of these albums, like it's kind of, I can't remember what's what. But yeah, I don't know. I have to look. Anyways, on this one, so this one has Manish Boy, which has come out. Hear My Train A-Comin', which he's done acoustic. It's done with electric on here. But there's also a version of Woodstock, the Crosby, Stills and Nash song. Was it Stills? Yeah, Stephen Stills had that song in the works. Like he was working on that song on his own, and he was trying to figure out, like the arrangement in that. And Jimmy actually played on a version on one of those studio sessions. So that made it onto here, and sounds really good. The song's not totally fleshed out like it is on on the when it eventually became a Crosby, Stills and Nash song, but it's really cool listen.
Well,
yeah.
Like Joni wrote that song,
right?
And then Stills arranged it.
Yeah, like that arrangement is completely different from Joni Mitchell's original.
Kind
of.
They
got electric guitar and all that stuff. That was the other thing too, is that Stephen Stills wasn't really confident in his electric guitar soloing, so that's why he would get other people to do it. So Jimi Hendrix was one of them, and Neil Young was the other, and they really jived with Neil Young, and that's how he ended up in Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. But yeah, there's a blues song on here as well. That was another one that was I can't remember his name, but I can't remember the guy's name. But there was a bit of controversy on who owned the song, because the guy said that he wrote the song and all this stuff. But anyways, they figured all that out, and they finally released that song. So it's some other guy singing it. Jimi Hendrix is playing the solos in that one. I can't remember the name of it. But anyways, this is a really good listen. It's really good.
Is it mostly like studio or live tracks?
Yeah. I think it's pretty much all studio stuff, from what I can remember off the top of my head. Yeah, it's good stuff. Check it out. Okay, so this is the other.
Sounds like more Laurel Canyon magic going on there. All them hanging out.
It's good times. So this is I bought this in Bill's neck of the woods. I was reading John Fogerty's book, his autobiography, and he mentions this album. And when I was over in Bill's neck of the woods there. I don't know if you can see the. I don't know if you can see that. Anyways,
John
it's
Fogerty.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, John Fogerty.
yeah. There you go. So John Fogerty, CCR, Creedence Clearwater Revival. He was like the main guy, the singer, and wrote all the songs. And when the band was having some issues, there was egos and whatnot, and the other band members thought that they were better than John, and John was like, well, screw you guys, I'm going to go and do my own thing. But he was still under this record, like he still had a contract with the record label. And because he was writing all the songs, he sort of burnt out for a little while there. So he took some time off, but he was getting pressured by the record label to come out with an album. So what he wanted to do was come out with an album called, it was basically just country songs. Originally, when this album came out, so it's called, like you see John Fogerty, Blue Ridge Rangers, but originally when the album came out, there was no John Fogerty. It just said Blue Ridge Rangers. And when you put the album on, it's all country tunes. And
Are they songs he wrote, or are they covers?
They're all traditional covers.
Okay.
And so it tanked because nobody knew that it was a John Fogerty album. And plus, the original print was printed on the worst vinyl. This is all according to John Fogerty. And actually, when I went to the store in Barrie, in Bill's neck of the woods, they actually had an original copy there. And I pulled out the vinyl, and you could see there was like bubbling on the vinyl because it was, I guess, just cheap. And well, so I made sure to get a second pressing, so that on the advice of John Fogerty himself, to get a second pressing because it's a much better quality vinyl, and you could tell that it's John Fogerty because it's has his name on it. So yeah, he was under contract to get I think he still had like 4 or 5 albums to come out with, and Creedence came out with 8, I think, at the time or something. Like, it was just a crazy record deal that he had. It was terrible. So the album comes out and it flops, and the record label then says, well, it doesn't actually count towards your contract, towards your fulfillment, because you put out a country album and we wanted a rock and roll album, and it says that you have to give us rock and roll albums.
That was part of it. Says specifically in the contract you need to make rock and roll albums.
They rock albums or rock and roll albums or something like that. And because he put out a country album, they said, well, that's in breach of the contract. It was, when really they were pissed off that it was a country album. But it's fantastic. It's great.
Nice. Does it sound like him singing? Like, you can tell how
it sounds like CCR with just a little more twang. Like, it's totally John Fogerty. There's no. I mean, like, CCR is John Fogerty, and the rest of those guys are just kind of douchebags. Rest in peace to the ones that passed away. But they were kind of full of it. Like, anytime they would try, there was a couple of albums where they would do their own songs or the songs that they wrote, and they were just always the weakest songs on the album. John Fogerty's the man. Okay, my final album I'm going to show is a solid release from last year, and I imagine Matt Bandy knows these guys. I'm pretty sure Bill knows them too. It's the Claypool Lennon Delirium.
Oh, I'm assuming it's Les Claypool.
That's right.
But I don't. Is it with Julius Lennon or one of John Lennon's kids?
It's Sean Lennon.
Sean Lennon. Okay.
Who is one of John Lennon's kids?
Yeah.
And there they are.
Oh, interesting. I know Les Claypool has done a lot of weird side projects. He's done stuff with that guy from Fish.
Yep.
But that I haven't heard, but I do like Primus.
Well, they did do an EP before this, and then this was like their first full on, and it's a double full on album. And this, I know Matt Bandy's gonna like this because it's got a really cool.
Oh, there you go. That's awesome.
Look at that, eh? And none of the songs are on the label. It's just a funky. I don't know if you can see it. My stupid monitor always dies because it thinks nothing's going on. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like A, Just A.
Yeah.
Right. There's
Yeah.
there's 4 sides, and it's the same thing on all of them. But yeah, this is really cool, like just kind of funky jams and whatnot. Nothing that would ever get radio play for sure.
Mm. Yeah, but fuck Sean Lennon.
Oh,
why fuck him? Yes. What's wrong with Sean Lennon?
What? What's the matter?
Wrong with Sean Lennon?
Go ahead. Show your records.
I can't move on until you explain why. You can't just
He's-
drop a bomb like that. I don't know what he did. I don't know anything about him.
He's I don't know. Don't like him. He's a bit of a D-bag in my opinion.
Well, this is coming from the guy who wouldn't watch a John Cusack movie.
That's not true.
He did movies in the 80s. So take that with a grain of salt, people. But it's a good fun listen, and just a fun little story. A friend of a friend, he went to see their concert in Toronto when they came here a couple of years ago, and he didn't want to. He lives out in the London area, and he didn't want to go. His friends talked him into going to this thing. He hadn't even heard of these guys. He knew who Les Claypool was and Sean Lennon was, but he hadn't heard their thing. So his friends wanted to go outside to smoke a doobie. So he's like, all right, fine, let's go outside and smoke a doobie. So they go outside and they're like, hey, there's the band's bus. Let's go stand over by the bus and see what happens. So they're standing over by the bus and they're smoking their doobie and all that. And then he just starts striking up a conversation with like the people in the group or whatever. And he realizes that the guy standing right beside him was Geddy Lee. And he just Geddy Lee went to the show and did a little jam session with him. So
does Les sing on that, or is he just playing bass?
Yeah, he just plays bass. I don't believe he sings on any of the tracks. Don't believe so.
He doesn't really. I wouldn't call him a singer.
No, but
He's got an interesting voice.
Yeah, he's got a voice.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it for me tonight.
What's the name of that record, Kevin?
What's the name of what?
What's the name of that record?
South of Reality.
South of. Is that a
That's a cockroach.
cockroach? Okay.
It's a timepiece.
That's weird.
Cockroaches need to know what time it is.
Good old Sean Lennon.
And what did Sean Lennon do? Like, what's the deal?
How about taking everything from Julian and locking him out of all of the estate? How about that?
Okay.
Yeah.
How did he do that? I thought Julian Lennon was like the one with all the.
No, my God.
Julian Lennon. He's got like Yoko. He's Yoko and his son, isn't he?
Sean is Yoko's.
Oh, maybe I got them mixed up.
So
Wait,
those two.
Wasn't Julian Lennon the one that did? No, okay, maybe I got it mixed up. Maybe it's Julian. I got the Lennons mixed up.
Oh. Julian Lennon had a hit at one time. He had a hit record.
Yeah, that one in the 80s, right? Can't stay
Yeah.
too long or something. Whatever. Say goodbye. Something. Let's see. Claypool. Lennon Delirium is. Yeah, Sean Lennon. Okay. So, yeah, it's the guy that you don't like.
I like that guy.
I thought, no, Julian Lennon, isn't that Yoko's son?
No, that was his first kid, right?
Yeah. It's a kid with Cynthia. Cynthia? Anyways, yeah, they have a history of keeping Julian out of any of the goods. Julian can't even get one of his father's guitars from them. It's like.
Well,
Anyways.
if it's good enough for Les Claypool, he's good enough for me.
All right. Who's next? Big Bandy, are you up?
Yep. I'll go.
Right on.
And still keeping with the theme with multiple pressings of one record.
Ah.
So this is another very important record to me in the history of my life. This is by a LA hardcore band called Carry On. This record came out in 99, 2000. No, that's like 2000, 2001. Anyway, this was pretty much my wife introduced me to this band.
I knew it.
Time, yeah. And this record was constantly played when we were first dating, and I unfortunately never got to see this band before they broke up. They did one reunion show in LA, but that was before I was living in California. But this was the first pressing of this record. So this record had one pressing when it first came out, and there was 3 different color variations. There was a red, this black, and then there was another one that was like the most limited. And for a long time, it had been out of press for years, and it was kind of hard to find. Luckily, I found this version, or this copy at a used record store in Chicago called Reckless Records. So I was lucky enough to pick this record up a few years after it had come out already. I think maybe somebody traded it in, but at the time I got it, it was already long out of press. And why they never did a second repress when this was still out and this band was still relative, or not, shouldn't say relative, like they broke up shortly after this record came out, and I understand that's probably why they didn't do another repress, because they were no longer a touring band, and this was this record label that came out, Bridge 9, right here. It's a small independent record label, so I could understand them not wanting to do a second pressing of this record. But over the years, this kind of became a go-to essential record for this era of the music. And I forget what year they did a repress of this, in 2011. So yeah, there was a 10-year anniversary repressing of this record. And in that time, in that 10-year span, Bridge 9 Records, the record label that put this record label out, it had gotten bigger, and this record was beloved, and so they did a repress, and they made it a gatefold with a little bit different artwork on the inside. The lyric sheet was here, and this came with a huge poster too that I unfortunately didn't grab. It's over somewhere with my records, but this was the yellow there was 2 versions of this. There was a yellow, which is the most limited of the 2. I think this was limited to maybe 500, either 500 or 300, and there was another white version of that record, which one time I had both of those, so I had 3 versions of this record, but since I traded that one off. But yeah, this is a excellent record, a perfect capture of the type of music that I was really listening to in the early 2000s.
Do you regret trading the white one?
No, the white one was a repress of this record, and it was like the less limited of the 2. So yeah, you can see there's a little bit subtle variations on the color, but it's pretty close to what the original. But the original didn't have a gatefold, and the lyric sheet was just on the inside. So yeah.
Thanks, Eric, for stopping in.
See you. Bye. But yeah, I still listen to this record a bunch.
When you found that firstly in Chicago, was it priced like a rarity, or did you get a deal on it?
No, it was since this was like the standard press. This was just like the black press of this. It was probably no more than $20. It was probably around $15-$20, maybe probably even less than that. Because Reckless at that time, they were probably the most fair used record store I've ever been to, and I assume still are. But yeah, I was lucky to find that because at the time at the secondary market, this was a little bit harder to find, and yeah,
Neat.
yeah.
So are you gonna hold on to both versions?
Yeah, both of these I will, just since this is like the 10th anniversary pressing of that record. I justified it because it was a little bit different. It was a gatefold.
Yeah.
And it came with an enormous poster.
Enormous.
It's huge. Yeah, it's probably about the size of that bad boy right there.
Wow. That's a lot of folds.
Yeah.
Do you have more, or you want me to move on?
You can go ahead. I have a few more records, but yeah, you can go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I got lots to go. Lots to go forward here. Yeah, it's nice having Eric pop in while he was at work. I guess he's back to going to work. So we're still going through the odds and ends. This side picked up. I think I already had this, if we remember the S's. I think this is an upgrade because the one I had was kind of scratchy. But I don't know how much better this could be. The vinyl's not. Well, so why do I have this? I don't know. Maybe this was a garage record to listen to out there. I don't know. That's questionable. And then we're also getting into some Third Man record releases from the vault. These I all did unboxings for, so I don't need to go through that. But if you want to look for what's inside this, check out my unboxing video also on this channel. This is actually I got to show you because the vinyl is pretty cool.
That's a creepy looking picture.
With
try listening to it
with the birdie on top. Yeah, Captain Beefheart, he's a weirdo.
It's the weirdest friggin' album ever. Some people say if you just keep listening to it, it becomes the best album you've ever heard. But I don't know. I tried listening to it a couple times.
This is the most jam-packed package like they ever put out, and it's it immediately. If you were to sell it on eBay, it would have immediately doubled or tripled your investment to sell it. But
isn't that a no-no from those guys though?
Yeah, it's a big no-no. Yeah. But this is the exclusive pressing we got.
Oh, that is wild.
Yeah, they called it fish scale or something. Yeah.
That might be the craziest colored vinyl I've ever seen in my life.
Let's just, I can't help it. There's some art in there. And whoop. This is an actual mask you can cut out to wear.
Fish creep me out.
What? Fish creep you out?
Yes. Since I was a kid, they creep me out.
And here's the other one. Isn't that wild?
That's wild.
So I think if you weren't a Vault member, you just got straight up black pressings.
Now, I know you said, and I know it's frowned upon, or not frowned upon, but it's a no-no to sell those on eBay. But what are their thoughts on trading records, or is that a gray area, or what? You have to pass that down to your children, or what's the statute of limitations there on?
I don't know about that part. I can't see them frowning on trading.
Mm-hmm. I understand with maybe getting it and immediately flipping it, because I've seen guys do that at record store day all the time, and that burns me because they're not listening to those, and they're.
I was like the same thing with Nintendo.
Yeah.
Stuff, flip it right away.
Yeah.
They want to keep the vault special and keep the integrity up of it. So, and as a member who's paying, I want to keep that too. But Yeah, I'll bang these off quick. So this was the Raconteurs, Help Me Stranger. Help Us Stranger. The Vault edition got this album cover that did that. And it's got a specialty pressing inside. I can't remember what color it is. There's an unboxing video of that on this channel.
That's a good one.
And then this giant live set they just put out. This was another Vault release. It's got 3 concerts on there. And this is unboxed as well on this channel. So check that out. And then this was picked up somewhere along the way. I can't remember where. It had to have been pretty cheap. I didn't have this George Thorogood. Look at the chompers on that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find Thorogood for fairly cheap. Sold a bajillion copies.
Yeah, but all of us only had that one George Thorogood album.
I have a few.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Maybe I'll show that next week. Thorogood.
Yeah. Quit hiding stuff.
I'm not hiding it. Just think no one's interested.
I'm interested in everything you got. That's the point of this series, is to show absolutely everything you have.
Right, well, we're going to be going through Simple Minds.
This was another Vault release for Third Man Records. This was in support of the Jack White solo album. And me and Kevin saw him for this tour as well. And this has like die cut windows here. See the little windows?
Was it kind of like the, what's that? Not Into the Outdoor. What was the Zeppelin record that did that?
Physical graffiti.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's the same idea. You can slide out the slip covers and change them up, and there's different stuff happening in the windows. And this is another massive, massive set.
Yeah, they kill it with their packaging.
Yeah. You can watch this get unboxing also on this channel. And that I can mention that I don't know if you guys saw, they just released info on what the next Vault is. It's a Johnny Cash collection. And they somehow got together with the Johnny Cash Foundation or family or whatever and have come up with some unreleased stuff. It's only 2 discs, but they're throwing in some extra stuff as well. So that'll be a nice Vault edition to look forward to. And then here was their reissue of Consolers of the Lonely. This sounds amazing. It's a really good album. This is another great package from the Vault, if you remember. And
that's a yearly fee, and you get a record every month.
They charge you quarterly, and you get a shipment quarterly.
Okay.
So I'll just show you, because I remember this one was pretty cool. This was like a copper pressing. Copper foil, they called it. Isn't that neat?
Yeah.
It sounds really good too. So yeah, I think for Canadians nowadays, it's getting up there, man. Like it's because we have to pay extra shipping, of course. So I think it's $80 quarterly.
Yeah.
So that Johnny Cash, if it's only 2 discs and you're paying $80 for it, it's like, oof, I'm getting it this month. But
it's $80 on top of the shipping.
No, $80 altogether, including the shipping, quarterly. But like this stuff, you won't get this in a store. And finally, all this, you can find videos on this channel, unboxing. They also did this package of The Go, an early Jack White kind of punk album, double discer, and it came with just a giant package of goodies here, including a glossy booklet, and I think there's a 45 in there, postcards. It was a massive, massive package. So I guess this last little run here was all about the Vault from Third Man Records, which I do I guess I do recommend if you like vinyl.
So the vault, are they numbered like vault release number 1 and they go from there?
Yes.
Or okay. So it has its own special releases on top of what Third Man already puts out.
Some of these will get released, like not the editions the vault members got, but you will get a standard edition. Except I don't know if the Go ever got a standard edition. I don't know.
What about that Sleep record that they released? That was specifically through the vault, correct? That live show that they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know I never saw that in stores.
I thought they were gonna.
I've never seen it. And my local record store, the guy that buys the metal records, is a huge Sleep guy, and there's always a surplus of Sleep records there, and I never saw that. They did release 2 records, or 1 record, the single that Third Man put out, but that live show, there was never, I don't think, a release that I saw.
Yeah, for the amount of discs that release, that was huge. Getting
That came with like a patch too, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, it came with the patch of the live to air writing machine or whatever it was. Now they're cutting the show live, that machine.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? That was the patch, wasn't it? Now I'm second guessing myself, because it was Sleep. It could have been like a shuttle or something, but I'm pretty sure it was.
Astronaut or something.
Yeah, pretty sure it was the cutting machine.
A astronaut.
Yeah, good one.
That's what they call them.
Yeah, I didn't pull that for tonight. Maybe we'll see that next week, or I'll just say I unbox this on this channel, and you can watch the unboxing in the special presentations playlist. How's Kevin doing over there? He's doing good. Anything you want to say next, or should we bring it right over to Matt Bandy?
No, go ahead. Go to Matt.
All right. Big Bandy, you're up.
Okay. So I got another duplicate here. This one's pretty different as far as the release goes. But I'll start with this release here. So this was a band from Los Angeles. I'm sorry, not Los Angeles, from San Francisco. They were called Lights Out. They released 2 records and a demo. This was their first 7-inch. And they released a demo, this, and their full length, and then they called it quits. This record was I bought this at a music festival in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. And so this was a limited press. Oh, maybe I should say Lights Out. Did I say who the band was, Lights Out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Name of the record called Get Out. So this was what's referred to as a posi numbers press. So this was, they had a different cover, or it was like a, remember those things they showed in high school when they put it over the projector?
Overhead projector.
Yeah, that's essentially what this is. It's kind of almost looks like that, or like an X-ray. Actually, this is exactly what an X-ray feels like, but it has the logo on that. So this was like the different cover for it. So they just slipped it over the top of that, but it has this sticker here that was stamped on there, and it's this was number 120 out of 170. So there's 170 of these records pressed. Guy had a show on the back. The cover here. The Matrix says, "Can you guys be quiet? I got to work at 5 a.m."
Oh, that sounds familiar.
And then the B side says, "Get bent."
Why is all this music shirt adverse?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the story behind this picture here. Usually, like the B-side pictures of especially hardcore punk bands have some weird joke to them or some story behind it. But what story behind that, I don't know. They got some lyric sheets and shots of the band. And this version of the record here was from their record release show. This was out of 115. Mine is number 85. This was given to me by a friend who was at the show. I was still living in Chicago at the time. But this, again, was before the record was out. They had a few printed up for the show. The cover, you have a different lyric sheet than the original release, and the cover was photocopied by them and then spray painted by them. So every cover looks a little bit different because it has a different shots of spray paint there. Okay. The vinyl is just on black vinyl. Same back cover.
How'd you get that?
A friend of mine was at the show.
Yeah.
Or actually his band, this band here, who I showed earlier, played this show with them.
Oh, I was going to say there had to be a lady involved.
No lady. And also came with a temporary tattoo from Youngblood Records. They were the record company or record label that put this out. Got a coupon that says I went to the Lights Out record release and all I got was this lousy coupon. I got a sticker.
Shirtless?
No. Well, maybe some of them are. And then another logo sticker from the band. So yeah, got a bunch of fun little feelies in that record. But yeah, it's a great record. One of my favorites that this record label put out. They play a kind of a thrashier style of hardcore punk. Very typical to the San Francisco sound of these bands at that time. But yeah, lucky to have this one. This one's kind of hard to come by.
What kind of value do these things hold?
Depends on the band. Right now, this was probably worth a lot more 10 years ago. It depends on the longevity of the band, how long they were a band, if they kind of faded away into obscurity, or if they went on to do other things too, or just depends on their kind of their staying power, I guess. A lot of these bands are kind of one and done. They'll put out a record and that's great, but then they just don't do anything after that. That's that comes from a lot of these bands are they're in their late teens, early 20s, so they grow up and they get into other things, or just move on from playing in bands, and so that's kind of a fun phenomenon when it comes to this type of music. But yeah, the market for these hardcore records from this time period is decreased a lot from what it was when they were when the records were first out. A lot of time it kind of goes down, and then as interest creeps back in the band, kids who are getting into that style of music 10, 20 years later, and they discovered the bands from their area from years before, and that's when it kind of creeps back up again. So yeah, depends on the label, depends on the band. So some of them could be hundreds of dollars. Some of them could be $3. Just depends.
What do you do for storage for the 45 size records?
Oh, I can show you. Hold on a moment.
So I never know what to do with my 45s.
I have them stacked in a Rubbermaid container.
Yeah.
They're all Sarah's. They're all 80s. 45.
So I keep them in boxes that are specifically for 7 inches. So it's just like almost like for for comic books. But these are in here, and I have multiple boxes of these. I probably own more 7 inches than actual LPs. But yeah, this is what I keep them in. And I just store them by my record player and the little cubbies that my records are in. So yeah,
Cool. Good to
keeps
know.
them. Yeah, keeps them free of dust. I've mostly found these at record stores. I'm sure you can order them online, but yeah, this is pretty much kind of this is like the standard size.
Yeah. Now that you showed me that, I'm like, yeah, I have seen that in like a record store, those kind of boxes. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is probably 20 years old. And it's gotten me through multiple moves, cross country. And I don't stack them on top of each other, but yeah, they hold up good.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, these are next couple should get Kevin's juices going.
Oh yeah.
A little Monty Python live disc. It still has cellophane on it.
What's the title? Live at what?
Live at the Theatre Royale, Drury Lane. At last, another chance to hear some of the sketches that have thrilled generations. You got that classic artwork on the front. Got a sleeve in there. I don't need to break open my new sleeves yet. There's the label. I don't know why that's not showing up. Yeah, so this is from 1975. Good things happened that year. Good things happen. And we got some Monty Python sketches on there. And we also have this one. You guys always talk about if the carpet matches the drapes. This is matching tie and handkerchief.
I've never seen that before. What's on that?
Nothing, apparently.
Well, they would just do sketches from their TV show because the TV show was in parts of the United States, but not all of the United States. So I was reading Eric Idle's book last year, and he was actually saying like how out on the West Coast, nobody had ever seen the show, but everybody knew their skits from the albums. So
funny.
the albums. Now, I think is that the one that it there's 2 grooves on one side.
That's funny.
You put it on one groove, you'll get one set of skits, and if you put it in the other groove, you'll get another set of skits.
Right.
But it's possible to like actually pick a groove, and they did that intentionally, just to mess.
I've heard of that before. Yeah.
I think that's the album. Like side 2 is 2.
So this is the cover is kind of like a TV screen.
Yeah.
3D there. See?
I have that on CD and it plays the whole thing. Doesn't mess around with the grooves.
Oh, this comes out. So I was thinking this was like the bargain bin cut, but I think this might be how it was released because both corners have that.
Makes it look 3-dimensional there.
They wouldn't normally cut the inside though, right? Like they'd do damage to the outside. They don't
if they did a corner cut, they would do a big.
Yeah, like the outside. Oh, it is the whole thing. Okay, I see.
But I like this. This is a great picture. Okay. Free record given away with the Monty Python matching tie and handkerchief.
So imagine, like, is there a set list, like a track, like what the skits are on there?
No, sketches.
So I imagine they did that to preserve the gag.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all one giant band. And obviously I can't tell, but it does just looks different. So I wouldn't be surprised if that has the two separate bands going on.
Wow.
And just because I like getting Matt Bandy jealous and everything, and he brought it up, so that's what he's talking about. The big sleep box. Look at this thing. Quadruple live recording.
That's wild.
This thing is just massive.
Yeah, I am jealous of that.
There's that cutting machine there. So live from stage, cut right onto whatever.
Oh, did they play the entire Dope Smoker in its entirety?
Well, it says part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, part 1 is 20 minutes.
What's part 2?
2 minutes and 46 seconds. And then, I don't know, Kevin, if I told you one of the discs I was listening to on this, I was working on the computer listening to it, and it's just a groove, right? It's just like this deep groove going over and over again, getting you sucked in, getting the vibe, grooving out. And I'm like, this side's been going on for like an hour. How is this possible? And what they did, the run out like just plays over and over again.
Okay.
And they did it so magically. There was no like skip when it went back in. It just hit the groove perfectly.
Right.
It was so well designed. So, yeah. I don't remember if these had special colored pressings.
If I remember from your video, I think they were all different.
Don't want to piss that guy off.
You should see pictures of him from 20 years ago. You wouldn't recognize him. Even 10 years ago. El Cisneros looks a lot different now.
Yeah, so there you go. That's Dope Smoker. So that was worth the money when that thing came. And the last thing I have for this week's episode is the Jack White album he came out with. The Vault members got this different cover. The kind of weirdo reflective stuff going on. Boarding House Reach. And I don't remember what he did for the... Got a 45. Again, all this gets unboxed in detail on this channel if you want to go back and look, but I'm just curious. It's nice that I finally get to show off nice looking records on this show.
It's quite the change.
It's like, yeah, there's something subtle going on here. Yeah. All right, yeah, lots of stuff in there. Okay, so that is that's all the stuff I pulled for this episode, guys. We plowed through it. And Kevin stopped halfway through. So, man, I'm gonna have to get it.
I was top heavy, so
Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna have a bigger pile next week. We do have still lots more to show. There's still more of this new arrival stuff to get through, and then we'll get into favorite artists and go from there. So still lots to come for me at least. I hope Kevin finds something to amaze us with next week, or at least come by for his stellar commentary.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be honest. I'm tired. I've been up since 5.
Have you? Oh, I apologize.
Yeah. No, it's all right. It's all good.
And Matt Bandy, will you be back? Will you join us again next week, please?
Of course.
Excellent. Can't wait. You'll finish climbing the wall by then?
We just got to climb back down.
Yeah, I got to climb back down.
All the way up.
Right. That's true. Okay. So look at that. This is the first time in a long time we're under the 2-hour mark. Guys, got anything you want to fill with and talk about what's been on your mind, or no?
Oh, you got a question, Bill?
Question from Jack Britton.
Jack Britton, do you dig Derek Trucks? Well, yeah. Who doesn't like? He's just a master of slide guitar. Watching him wield that SG is something else. Was he with the Allman Bros when I saw him? No.
Warren Haynes.
Really?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what you said.
I think I saw him when Dickie was still around.
Really?
Oh, with Warren Haynes, right?
Oh,
anyways.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. He's awesome.
Yeah. There's no question.
Yeah.
Do you listen or like the Tedeschi Trucks band?
I've seen them live.
Oh, nice.
Did you? Where'd you see them live?
They were opening.
Where was my invite?
Again, you said this was in the era where you said you didn't want to go. It was them. It was we just talked about him the other episode. The guy who writes a bunch of songs for other artists. Steve Hyatt?
Barry
Manilow. John Hyatt.
John Hyatt. It was John Hyatt, Tedeschi, and Trucks, and they were opening for B.B. King.
Wow. Where the hell was that?
That was at the Molson Amphitheater in 2003. And you had to invite me. You were like, I don't want to go with that. But that's what you said. But what's his name? Jeff Healey was Jeff Healey stood up BB King. he was off side of the stage at the show, and BB King was like wrapping up his set, and he was like, all right, and I'm here to welcome a local guy and all that, just a big fan of mine, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Healey. And everyone's like, hey, Jeff Healey's gonna come out, and there's no Jeff Healey. He left early. He didn't stay for the encore.
Oh man, Jeff Healey, it's I'd almost say he's cheating when he's playing guitar because he's so good. Well, he soloed with 5 fingers on the neck because he played it flat, right?
Yep.
So he'd get his thumb involved along with all of his fingers, and he was a master at it.
But he was also blind and had to learn without seeing a damn thing. So,
wow, yeah. Jack says he saw Jeff Beck with BB King. Kevin, what did you think? Did you see that clip that I sent you? It was Jerry Reed with the King.
Yeah.
Had you seen that before?
I had not, no. But
wow.
Again, that's another example of how country and blues just mesh together so well, It's just like you can play those blues licks over a country rhythm, and it sounds great.
Well, go down the rabbit hole of Jerry Reed, and his guitar playing is phenomenal.
Yeah, he was legit. He was a legit musician. He had hits and songs and everything, and then he just got caught up with Bert and Smokey and the Bandit, and kind of went downhill from there. But
he wrote the Eastbound and Down song. That's Yeah.
That was his biggest hit. Yeah.
Yeah. He also wasn't he in the Coach and Waterboy too?
Yes, that's right.
Oh,
I forgot all about.
that's right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he's
Adam Sandler. Those early ones there's a lot of ties with Burt Reynolds. He's
Oh,
you
yeah.
can tell he was a huge Burt Reynolds fan. Well, he remade one of his movies, right? The Longest Yard.
No, Longest Yard, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, next time you're bored at work, call up the Jerry Reed stuff. It's wild. And yeah,
Jerry Reed plus Glenn Campbell. That's what Jack says all the time on Hee Haw. Here's a fun fact, bringing up Hee Haw. When I was a kid, I asked my parents. I wanted a lap steel guitar. That's what I wanted to.
When you were a kid?
When I was a kid,
Nice.
because I would watch Hee Haw and Dukes of Hazzard all the time, and I just loved the sound of it, and that's what I wanted. So I'd ask my parents for that, and they didn't get me one. They didn't want. They were not country western fans.
I used to hate Hee Haw. I remember my father used to watch it and make us sit through it. I hated it at the time.
I loved
Roy Clark with that tricolor guitar.
Yeah, I loved it. I used to watch it all the time. It was funny, and I liked the music.
Did you guys ever have to watch Lawrence Welk?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
My parents loved it. My grandma loved it. Was it Sunday night that was on? Everything just stopped. Everything stopped from Lawrence Welk for 2 hours.
I think it was Saturday night because I remember like it involved church. It was like on before church or something like that.
Yeah.
And oh my God.
Yeah.
And our parents had no business being into that, really. They aren't that old.
No, it was totally like that was the previous generation. But
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, my grandma liked that show. One of my babysitters.
But I suppose your kids, Bill, would say the same thing. You're into all old stuff, and you should be like both of us should be like Pearl Jam. That was really our generation. Nirvana, Pearl Jam, all that stuff in the 90s. But that stuff never spoke to me. I was always older stuff.
I beg my kid, my 16-year-old, tonight we're sitting down watching Song Remains the Same, and you're going to love it. No, I will not. Like, you have no idea. Even if you don't like the music, get to look at Robert Plant, this Adonis sex symbol.
What music are your kids into, Bill?
Well, 16-year-old, she...
Was she just now kind of getting into her own stuff, or has she been into it for a while?
Yeah, I don't know, man. What's that Caleb guy? I don't know. The new stuff.
The different hair, all different hair. I see her all the time. I don't know a single one of her songs, but she pops up all the time. She's got like, I don't know. She looks like she doesn't, what's the word?
Oh, Billie Eilish is what Jack.
That's it. Yeah. Yes.
That's, my daughter doesn't listen to her, but it's that, you know, those DJ guys that put their names on every record. She listens to those people, and I don't get it. She likes that. Who's that British guy that kind of does folky sound? That's actually what?
Jake Bugg?
No. The super mainstream guy. He was in like One Direction or something, but he actually plays guitar and stuff. And
Mendes? Matt Mendes? See Mendes, that's another name I see all the time.
No, he's a British guy. They're all in love with him. Anyways, she's got a stack of records. She's got her own record. Ed Sheeran? No, she doesn't like Ed Sheeran. No. But she's got a stack of records, her own record player. I've said, come on down, get on the show, show us oldies, what's spinning nowadays. And she refuses, of course, but maybe one day.
That's a guy you guys should check out, Jake Bugg. He was like this 15, 16-year-old kid that he's a British kid that one of the Gallagher brothers like discovered or put his record out. It is really, really good. Trying to think what year it came. It was maybe like 6-7 years ago it came out, but he was like 15, 16 years old writing all these songs himself, and they were so good.
Jack nailed it. It was Harry Styles who I was trying to think of.
Yeah,
I have given her like old Dire Straits to listen to, and she actually digs Dire Straits. I don't know why. Maybe someone new has covered them. But sorry, Kevin, what were you gonna say?
I find that kids don't like, they're not as like, for us, like if you were like when we were growing up, if you were into heavy metal, that's all you listen to. You were a heavy metal guy. If you listen to rap, that's it. That's all you listen to. Like you couldn't listen to anything else. And it was because music was such a commitment, right? Like if you like, besides what was on the radio, if you wanted to listen to anything, you had to go and buy it. You had to spend some cash for it. Now it's just so readily available. It's just everywhere. The kids just listen to anything, and they don't discriminate on what you listen to. They don't care. You know, it's just because you're not really spending any money on it. You're not like committing to like just one type of music.
Yeah,
it's true. But like I said, she is buying her own records, and they are stupidly expensive. Like that latest Harry Styles record, it's a double. I think it's $49-$50, something like that.
Wow.
Oof.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Anyways, what was that name, Matt Bandy? Bug?
Jake Bug. Yeah.
Jake Bug. I still haven't done last week's homework. Got the ponies to look for.
Oh yeah.
Jake Bug. Okay.
I think you'd check out Jake Bug before you check out the ponies. I think you like Jake Bug better.
All right, will do. We better wrap this up before Kevin gets all crazy on us.
Yeah, I got
Anger.
to go to the bathroom too.
Sleep angers. Oh, when Kevin has to go to the bathroom. Yeah, watch out. Check out Kevin over at his YouTube channel. It's Buried on Mars. He's doing lots of fun stuff over there. The Blu-ray community has embraced him because he's showing off some crazy stuff there. It's a little slowed down. Production is slowed down.
Well, I had to do all this. I had to prepare all this. Now that I can, you can see the. I don't know if you can see that back there, but the studio is ready to go tomorrow.
Ah, nice.
Set up, ready to go for tomorrow. So there we go.
Right on. Very good. And he's got a podcast, Retro Fandango. You can get that wherever you can get podcasts. And Matt Bandy, he's causing trouble everywhere he goes. He likes stirring the pot on Twitter. Go follow him on Twitter.
Come on,
into that pot. You know, Jack Britton does bring up something. Where is Joe during these things? It is kind of.
He was showing records in his latest pickup video.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of douchey, isn't it?
Well,
a little bit.
I mean, he could be here sharing with us, but you know, he doesn't want to share. He likes to keep things for himself.
Yeah. So, anyways, follow Matt Bandy over there on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at STC Pod. And we have a podcast, Start to Continue. That happens on this channel too. That'll be live this week, and it's happening on, I haven't booked it yet, but it should be Friday night. And thanks everyone for joining us in the chat who showed up. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Get this channel over the 500 mark at least. Thanks, Jack Britton, for showing up. Appreciate you. You should show up earlier so we can get you involved more, but not keep Kevin up so late. However, I think that's it. I think we're good. I feel good about it. See you next week. More fun stuff. See ya.
Bye.
So long.